Hey guys, check it out. You're watching Jonathan Clarke on YouTube. Oh no! I never prepare anything for the videos that I upload on my YouTube channel because I've always believed with talking about Descendants and Zombies with an open heart and an open mind. So if I were to say anything to start off this video, it would be that I love shooting videos in the nighttime because you can see the stars shining in through my window. So because you can always see the stars shining in through my window just after dusk, if I could do you the honor of granting one wish for each and every one of you, it would be that these franchises, Descendants and Zombies, could last for forever. Because I know how much they mean to all of our hearts, and I know how much they've meant to my heart over the last year. Because over the last year, after being a fan of Descendants and Zombies for the past decade, I've had the honor of uploading so many wonderful videos and creating so much wonderful content for the people who love Descendants and Zombies and have forever and always cherished it and had a special place in their heart, forever and always reserved for their favorite stars, their favorite moments, their favorite songs, the people who can't get enough of Descendants and Zombies. And over the past couple of days, we have celebrated the sweet 16th birthday of Freya Skye just today, and just yesterday, the 20th birthday of Ruby Rose Turner. It got me to thinking about how far Ruby has come in such a short amount of time. For those of you who have forever been subscribed to this YouTube channel, because forever feels like a long time, I know. I don't know exactly how long forever is. I haven't looked it up or researched it yet, but I know it's a long time. You know that I have the biggest crush in the world on Ruby Rose Turner, and I've fallen head over heels in love with Ruby because of her passion and how curious she is, and how I've always and forever believed that if Ruby Rose Turner wants to play the live-action Rapunzel for the live-action Tangled, she should go for it and shoot for the stars. It's really hard for me to put in words how I feel about Ruby turning 20 years old, because it's really hard to believe that just 5 years from now we'll be celebrating the 25th birthday of Ruby Rose Turner, which I hope I'm around for. Because she's forever and always held a special place in my heart. I remember seeing this girl on the red carpet premiere of Dumbo and being so shy, so scared of the commentators that were there, the journalists, and answering questions. And now she's morphed into a superstar overnight. And that really means the world to me, that Ruby has come so far in such a short amount of time. And I would like for Ruby to know, wherever she is out in the world tonight, hopefully she had the honor of celebrating her 20th birthday around her friends and her family, most of all her friends, because her friends mean so much to her, like Kylie Cantrell and Malia Baker. And I hope that Freya Skye had the honor of doing the same thing for her sweet 16th birthday, because I've always believed that your sweet 16th birthday should be one that you should never ever forget, and you should always and forever hold a special place in your heart for that. I think every girl deserves to have a special sweet 16th birthday, and I might just be saying that because I'm a sweetheart, but there's a reason why these videos that I upload are some of the best Descendants and Zombies videos that you will find on YouTube. It's because I have a passion for talking about all things Descendants and Zombies, and I've honored the franchises forever and always the way they forever and always meant to be honored. Because I think that there are a lot of critics who upload videos about Descendants and Zombies who have no business, who don't know the first thing about Descendants and Zombies, and providing you with the analogies that you've deserved for a very long time. So if I'm going to break down and critique Descendants and Zombies, I'm going to honor every significant moment in the star's history, and I'm going to talk about Descendants and Zombies in the way that it was meant to be talked about, because I have forever and always believed that it was written in the stars for all of us to meet because we were fans of Descendants and Zombies, and through creating this YouTube channel, it gave me the honor of meeting each and every one of you, and this has been an experience that I will never ever forget. You know, I say this because I've seen Ruby Rose Turner go from being 12 years old and being the shyest girl ever to becoming a superstar overnight, and now she's so excited about every moment that she has to promote Descendants and Most Popular and Orange is the New Black. She's always there to answer questions from reporters and commentators and journalists, and she's so obliging, and she's just so happy to be appreciative of the moment that she's in with each and every one of us. You know, forever Kylie Cantrell and Ruby Rose Turner and Freya Skye will miss their friends, but what they have to realize is, and take a step back, after they take a step back, they have to realize some of their greatest friends are their fans, because you guys have never left their side. You've been incredibly supportive of them, just as you've been incredibly supportive of me and this YouTube channel and my vision for it, because all I ever wanted to do was touch somebody's heart because they were a fan of Descendants and Zombies, because I too was excited for the premiere of Descendants back in 2015. I will never forget that summer, just as I will never forget the summer of 2025 and the Worlds Collide tour, because I had the honor of profiling it. And I think that if we're going to profile and talk about Descendants and Zombies, we can do you justice and we can do right by you. by talking about Descendants of Zombies in the way it was always and forever meant to be talked about. Because, forgive me, but I love how Freya Skye goes to McDonald's and gets a plain cheeseburger at 2 a.m. I love how she plays board games and plays video games because I've done that all of my life. I had the biggest board game collection in the world, the biggest video game collection that anyone could ever dream of having. I've collected it over the course of 25 years. So when I hear these little tidbits of news about Freya Skye and insight onto her personality, I really appreciate it. And that's why I think that every moment in her life should be a significant one that she will forever and always cherish and never ever forget. Especially the Worlds Collide Tour, because at the Worlds Collide Tour she had this emotional moment with each and every one of you that I never ever forgot. I never ever will forget it, no matter where I go from here or whatever happens to me, because I saw Freya Skye become so emotional in the moment with each and every one of you because she was so appreciative of it. And I saw that too with Ruby Rose Turner. I was hoping that Ruby was going to be a part of the Worlds Collide Tour moving forward because I had seen her be a part of so many stage productions for The Rise of Red ever before the Worlds Collide Tour had been thought of. And I remember Ruby being so full of life, so bubbly, and everybody's favorite character on stage. I think Ruby became everybody's favorite Descendants character because of what she exemplified: kindness, generosity, curiosity, which is why I think that Ruby deserves more opportunities than she's ever been given or ever been shown. And I will forever advocate for Ruby having more opportunities shown to her, because the conversation has always been about Sabrina Carpenter. It's always been about Dove Cameron playing the live-action Rapunzel for the live-action Tangled. Given how iconic Mandy Moore was with her portrayal of Rapunzel, I think that someone like Ruby Rose Turner deserves an opportunity to be the live-action Rapunzel because she can really bring it to life and because of how curious she is. When you think about the character traits of Rapunzel, what comes to mind? Someone who's curious, someone who loves life, who loves animals and people, and thinks that everybody is sweet if given a chance. And I think Ruby Rose Turner fits the criteria of a Rapunzel. Now, I may just be saying that because I'm the biggest Ruby Rose Turner fan in the world, but I think I'm also saying it because I see Ruby Rose Turner for what she's worth, which is why I wish I was the producer of the live-action Tangled and Descendants of Zombies moving forward, because you had better believe that if I was the producer of Descendants and Tangled moving forward, Ruby Rose Turner will be back just as fast as you could snap your fingers, because you can always find something for Ruby to do with how genuine of a personality she is and how appreciative she is of everybody around her. You just didn't have to take her out of the franchise because present-day Wonderland was what Descendants 5 Book of Wonderland was going to be focusing on, because you could have went back in time the first 10 minutes of the movie in a prologue, saved Ruby from damnation, and had her be a part of Descendants 5 moving forward. She could have been one of those consequences of time travel, even if that's what it amounted to. Because I think that moving forward with a new cast and eliminating other cast members is just not showing an appreciation for how much they meant to the franchise. I mean, sure, Ruby came in, offered us an explanation as to why the Queen of Hearts was so evil and how she'd been backed into so many corners, demonstrating the profound impact of how bullying can really have an effect on a person's heart and how they feel about their life. I understand that and I get that, but I think that there's still so much of a story for Ruby to be told because of how much fun she had with the Descendants franchise. I don't think that should have ever been taken away from her or taken away from us. I say this because I know how you guys feel, and I heard your reactions with Kylie Cantrell and meet and greets about how Ruby wasn't going to be a part of the Descendants franchise moving forward. I'd heard the news on Twitter at the time. I was heartbroken over it, and judging from your reactions, you didn't want to say goodbye to Ruby Rose Turner just yet either. You didn't want to. You guys weren't ready to say goodbye to Ruby, and I get that, and I understand how you must feel about that. So that's why I give you my word. We're going to do everything we can to get Ruby Rose Turner back into this franchise, even if it is in the form of a cameo. We're going to do the same thing for Mila Manheim and Meg Donnelly too, because I don't think that you can just walk away from something after having been a part of your life for forever and just forget about it. I think that you always go back to, what made you a superstar. I've seen so many people try to walk away from something, and after 25 years, you just can't walk away from something and forget about it, because it always exists in your heart. There's always a special place reserved in your heart for whatever you were a part of. And I think that Ruby was just overflowing with talent and excitement to be a part of whatever she was a part of, and she was so appreciative of it. She was so appreciative of the tribute of Cameron Boyce in The Rise of Red. She was so appreciative to have the honor of being a part of a franchise she had grew up watching ever since the age of 9 years old. When I was 9 years old, what was I doing? I think I was the biggest fan of Aladdin. I had Aladdin underwear and Aladdin pajamas and Aladdin merchandise and Aladdin stuffies. I was the biggest Aladdin fan in the world. I was the biggest fan of Super Nintendo too, so I had the Aladdin video game. I think I had the Super Nintendo Aladdin bundle, when you would open up the Super Nintendo case and inside of it you'd have the Aladdin video game and the Super Nintendo console. So I was a really cool guy. I really didn't care about a whole lot of stuff. All I ever wanted to do was I woke up one morning and I said, Mom, at the age of 9 years old, I want to be a radio show host. So I'm going to not pay rent when I'm 25, host a show out of your basement, and I'm going to create the best Descendants of Zombies YouTube channel, not knowing I was on my way to doing it 25 years earlier. But fast forward 25 years later in the future, and here we are. This is the moment that we've all aspired to get to with Descendants of Zombies, and what we've deserved to have happen for it for a very long time. My mom thought it was a pretty stupid idea, never thought I was going to amount to anything, but she was so supportive of it. That was what was so cool about my mom. And my parents even financed my show. It was very poorly financed, mind you, but even though they thought it was a stupid idea, it exploded. And now 25 years later, fast forward to now, present day Wonderland, and here we are. We're celebrating moments like Freya, Skye, Ruby Rose Turner's birthdays, and these are key moments. And what you mean by key moments are, they are moments that they should never ever forget, which is why I'm hoping that today, wherever they are, they have the birthdays that they will never ever forget. I know Meg Donnelly's 25th birthday, which should have been a memorable occasion for her, was a memorable occasion because of thousands of birthday wishes that came in. I've noticed on Ruby Rose Turner's and Freya Skye's social pages, they don't actually commemorate their birthdays. They keep it private, and I respect that, but I think that, there are more people out there that remember these birthdays that are never given credit for or shown the respect they deserve, because I've seen tributes for both Ruby and Freya over the last 48 hours, and I thought they were beautiful. I thought you guys did a really great job. You probably did a better job than what I did hosting the show, which is actually really frustrating sometimes because you never know what to say, and I don't ever prepare anything because I've always approached this show with doing it with an open heart and an open mind, because if I showed up on here with cue cards and a piece of paper in front of me or a notebook, I mean, what does that tell you about me other than the fact that I'm a real idiot? I think that what you should do is host a show with an open heart and an open mind and really swing from the hoop and just go for just say how you feel. I really do believe that people like Ruby Rose Turner and Freya Skye have touched our hearts in so many emphatic ways. And that is such a beautiful way to look at a person's career, because they have inspired us to be stronger. They have encouraged us to stand up for what we believe in more because of the music, because of their ability as an actress, which is truly uncanny. Nobody will ever surpass the legacies of Ruby and Freya because their legacies have forever and always been written in the stars. And I think that us knowing little tidbits of information about Freya Skye, about being a fan of video games and board games, is really cool. My favorite board game when I was a kid was always 13 Dead End Drive. You guys are probably too young to remember it, but they just celebrated it by releasing the 30th anniversary of the game. I saw it just yesterday at Chapters, and it got me to thinking about how I was 10 years old and I used to have to build this huge mansion with my friends, and we played the game out. It was either that or Electronic Battleship. I will never forget how it used to go like this. F10, Battleship, sunk. The fondest memories that you will create and you'll have with your friends are slumber parties, talking about guys, playing board games, watching your favorite movie. And that's why I've always believed that a girl's sweet 16th birthday, no matter who they are, should be a special one, and one they will never ever forget. So if you spend your sweet 16th birthday around your friends, probably you have 5 or 6 really good friends, because I've always believed you've never really needed a whole lot of friends to make it through life. I think that if you have 4 or 5 really good friends that you can keep and hold on to, you've got something more special than ever given credit for. And you can have a slumber party, you can talk about a guy you got a crush on, you can call him 100 times and then hang up on him because you're too scared to say how you really feel about him. I think these are moments that forever and always have meant a special place to our heart and always held a special place in our heart for obvious reasons. And I think that we see this more than ever now being put on display by Freya Skye and Kylie Cantrell and Ruby, because they are just so appreciative of everything they've been presented with, because they were given an opportunity and their stars have shined more brighter than ever before, going back to each and every one of our contributions, because we showed up at the Worlds Collide Tour with our glitter signs, our phones, we took videos, we uploaded them to YouTube, and because we did that, we outshined every bit of criticism the Worlds Collide Tour could have had, because 95% of the reviews that would have been uploaded to YouTube would have been reviews of criticism, and I for one don't like any form of criticism whatsoever. I don't like constructive criticism, which is a nicer form of criticism, but I've always believed that no form of criticism is a nice form. If you're going to show up on your YouTube channel, you've really got to be on case in point, and you've got to present a case for how you feel about someone like Ruby or Freya, because they've still got a long way to go, and I'm just excited to be a part of their future, because I can go on for hours about people like Freya and Ruby, because I love them so much. I love how Freya goes to McDonald's at 3 a.m. every morning and gets a plain cheeseburger because she's craving it. That's really cool. That's what's up. Because I used to do that when I was 10 years old too. The guys knew my car in the drive-thru at McDonald's. They knew my car. They knew my order. I always used to go for those personal-sized pizzas. They don't make them anymore at McDonald's. But ever since I was like 7 years old, that's what I would drive up to the drive-thru and request. They eventually got to know my car. I became customer of the month. It was a really fun time to go to McDonald's. And, of course, the Happy Meals were really cheaper then. And now you guys are one-upping me, because in the Happy Meals now you get yogurts, you get cookies, you get fruit, you get milkshakes. Man, you get a real choice. You get a variety. I never got anything. I got 4 nuggets and a drink and a small fries, or a small cheeseburger, or a small hamburger, a small fries, and a small drink. You guys got everything now. McDonald's is really the cool place to hang out now. When I was growing up, there was a place called Chuck E. Cheese. I don't even know if that place is still in existence. And from what I hear, there was a local 5 Nights at Freddy's just opened up down the road. I've never been there. I tried to apply for a job recently, but I don't know about that. But the thing is, the point I'm trying to make is we have these moments that, happen for us when we least expect it. And it's undeniably happening for Freya Skye, because she's so popular, she's so appreciative of it. So if there was one person to be in the conversation forever and always of being the next Taylor Swift or Ariana Grande, it would have to be her. Because I think that her music is really on point. It's leaving an everlasting impression on everybody's heart. And because this only happens once in a lifetime, and stars like this will never be seen again, because I'm a firm believer that Disney will never see stars like they have right now. And they are capitalizing on it, which is phenomenal, because they know they will never see stars quite like this ever again, which makes this the greatest honor of my life, because you had better believe the greatest honor of my life is sitting in front of this microphone talking to you guys about Descendants of Zombies, because I grew up being a part of every aspect of the Disney Revolution. I saw them go from traditional animation and shows like The House of Mouse and the original Aladdin and Little Mermaid TV series into shows like Hannah Montana and Wizards, which amounted to the heights of unprecedented during their era. I don't think that anything will ever surpass that, but if there was one argument that I could make, Descendants of Zombies really is in a class of its own. And this is a franchise that could last for another 10 years or up to 10 more movies. But what it comes down to is how much creative incentive these writers and producers they've hired to come up with ideas for Descendants of Zombies have. And that's why I've always put it out there that, hey, if you guys are quitting on Descendants of Zombies, I will gladly sit in the director's chair and I will direct and I will say, cut, action, all over again, because I think there's something cool about slamming that director's plate down and just doing it all over again. Because I think that for somebody to direct Descendants of Zombies, they've got to have a greater appreciation for fairy tales and how much they've forever and always held a special place in everybody's heart. Because if you tell me you're not a fan of Alice in Wonderland, I don't know if I'd ever believe you, because I think the way it goes is I would believe a 7-year-old child over how they feel about Descendants of Zombies and Alice in Wonderland and Cinderella characters ever before I would have critiqued. Because most people who upload these videos filled with criticism about Descendants of Zombies are watching Descendants of Zombies for about 15 minutes for the first time. They don't know the first thing about Red and Chloe, or Bridget, who was my favorite Descendants character because she was a bubblegum type personality that we all fell in love with. I get that, because I have the biggest crush in the world on Ruby. I think that for somebody to say they've watched Descendants 100 times, they've really got to watch Descendants 100 times. And believe you me, I have watched Descendants of Zombies over 100 times. I think it's the coolest franchise in the world. I think we've been crying out for a franchise like this for far long enough. And I think opportunities like celebrating the birthdays of Freya Skye and Ruby Rose Turner only happen once in a lifetime. So because they come along of extreme rarity, we've got to make the most of it. And we've got to be there for each other. No matter what we may be going through, we've always got to be there for each other. And I think that's what's so valuable about time, is how time always runs out. It's always elapsing through the hourglass. And it's all about what we do with the time that we are allocated by the light of the moon and the stars shining in through my window tonight as it gets more duskier out, and the zombies are probably out on the prowl, because tonight we are officially just 2 weeks out from Halloween, and I'm really scared. And AMC's Fear Fest is on tonight. They've got the Friday the 13th marathon. Oh my God! I don't want to have to watch that. So I got a couple of minutes left on this show, and I want to let you guys know, man, that this YouTube channel will forever and always be here in support of the Descendants of Zombies fans. I got to go get Donald and Goofy and Dumbo and Stitch out of my washing machine because they are spinning around in my washing machine as we speak. They've been spinning around in my washing machine since 3:30 this evening, and I haven't got them taken out yet. I do that occasionally, and man, you guys are really going to love this YouTube channel. That's all I have to say to you guys. So if you would love to take a chance on me and take a chance on this YouTube channel, you are more than welcome to subscribe here, because I really do love Ruby Rose Turner and Freya Skye so much, man, and I really do love talking about your favorite stars from Descendants of Zombies, because the thing is, they have legacies that are written in the stars. You may have to look a little bit harder than others to find it, but trust me, the legacies of these stars, Freya and Kylie and Ruby and Dove and Sophia and Cameron, for sure, Cameron's voice's legacy is in the stars out there somewhere tonight. Just know everything is going to be okay, okay? Just know that everything is going to be all right, and we are going to help you make sense of Descendants of Zombies from now until the end of time. And we are going to, it's almost going to be like we're going to fall in love with Descendants of Zombies all over again, because trust me, after you watch one of my videos, you will have a greater appreciation to run away with from Descendants of Zombies than ever before. So the way this YouTube channel works is I try to upload anywhere from 3 to 4 videos, 4 videos tops every day, because there's nobody that does this for you guys, and I just want to show you the appreciation that you've deserved for a very long time, because I think there's no better way to do it, or no more effective way. Far more effective way than by showing up and being on point with your thoughts on Descendants of Zombies, and this has been the most fun that I've had in my entire life. Thank you guys so much for having joined me for the birthday celebrations, the 20th birthday of Ruby Rose Turner, and the sweet 16th birthday of Freya Skye, which undoubtedly should be a memorable one for her. And there's nobody better to do this gig and to join you for it than your host, Jonathan Clarke. You guys brought back a legend. You not only inspired people like Freya Skye and Ruby Rose Turner, but you guys brought back a legend for the first time in 5.5 years. After a 5.5 year to 7.5 year hiatus, you guys brought me back, and you gave me a chance to be seen and heard again. My opinion now is heard by more people than ever before because of you. You guys made this happen. You guys are magical, and this magic is something I hope never runs out or expires, because I have a lot to say where Descendants of Zombies goes. I have never felt more honored to be in your guys' presence to discuss all things and everything Descendants of Zombies, and we will do this all over again tomorrow. Guys, thank you so much for all the love and support you've shown this channel, because life really is sweeter when all of us are. The only thing left for us to do is stay calm and zombie on and get them before they get us. And this conversation does not have to end. This story is far from over. So because this story is far from over, it doesn't have to be. Don't ever buy into what the critics are trying to sell you, because if you give them a reaction, that's exactly what they want to get from you. But this story doesn't have to be over, because it isn't. Guys, I love you so much. Thank you for the support and the love you've shown this YouTube channel. I'm going to go ahead and upload this video to my YouTube channel. I never know how much of a reach my videos are ever going to have, but this is the most fun that I've ever had in my entire life and my existence on this planet. Thank you guys so much for being fans of Descendants of Zombies. Keep Descendants of Zombies in your hearts forever and always, and we will do this all over again tomorrow, because life really is sweeter when all of us are. Thank you guys so much.